What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another hat format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your hat format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about doing that. But anyways, the match I have for you today, we have Blab, who is going to be on Mythic Ruler, versus N-Speed, who is going to be on Mermail. And this is another War League match, so it should be very good. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Here, it looks like Blab does win the rock, paper, scissors and will be able to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Upstart Goblin, Foolish Burial, Soul Charge, Dragon Shrine, and Soul Charge. And on the other side, we see Teus, DD Crow, MST, Title, and Lind. So having the DD Crow against the Mythic Ruler deck is extremely strong. Blab does have multiple ways to send cards to graveyard, plus an Upstart to be able to get a draw, and they will get a draw for turn here since they are starting out. So let's see what happens here. They get a copy of Tempest, okay? So they are going to go Dragon Shrine, dumping Blue Eyes, and then dumping Whitestone, which Whitestone can then trigger to add a copy of Blue Eyes from deck to hand. Next, Upstart's going to be activated, unfortunately getting another Dragon Shrine, which is once per turn. So nothing they can really do there, but they do still have the Foolish, which they're going to go and send a copy of Blaster. From here, they're going to go Tempest, banishing the Blaster and Blue Eyes from hand. Blaster can then trigger to add a copy of Flameveil Guard. And then they are going to normal that Flameveil Guard and Synchro Summon for a copy of Stardust Dragon. Then go Soul Charge for all. So they are going for Soul Charge for 4. Okay. And N-Speed's going to think for a second here. And they're going to DD Crow the Blue Eyes. Okay, so Blab will be able to bring out the Tempest, Flameveil Guard, and Whitestone here. And Blab's going to take a second to think. Synchro Summon for another 8, going for Stardust Spark Dragon. The Whitestone can then trigger to add a copy of Blue Eyes. And they're just going to pass it on that. So Flameveil Guard is just going to be a defender here. And Speed got a copy of Marksman, which unfortunately isn't great here, given, you know, the Mythic Ruler deck doesn't really usually play much back row that they're actually setting, I guess I should say. Here, it looks like the Teus is going to be special summoned by sending the Title from hand. Teus will then trigger and add a copy of Pike. I'm not really sure what's going on with the picture there right now, but adding a copy of Pike. And from here, it looks like Lind is going to be normal summoned. And maybe just trying to crash it in. Or here, I guess, banishing the Pike and the Marksman, going for the Title here. And let's see, they're taking some time to think. They are going to go Battle Phase and try to crash this Lind into the Stardust, which is going to work. So Lind can then go and summon a copy of Lead. So just getting a bigger body on board, being able to, you know, potentially run everything over. Then the Lead is going to attack over the Stardust. Stardust Spark is going to attempt to protect the Stardust here. And then Title is going to run over the Flameveil Guard. And it looks like main phase 2 Lead is going to use its secret ability that everyone forgets about, that you can tribute a attack position Mermail monster and discard a random card from your opponent's hand. So here, you know, if they hit that Soul Charge, that might be kind of big. Here, hitting the Blue Eyes, probably the worst one there, unfortunately. And then N-Speed is going to go for a copy of Big Eye, detaching the Title to take the Spark Dragon, so that's at least strong. And having an MST here. And Blab gets a copy of Silver's Cry, which is actually really, really good here. Blue Eyes is just a big beater, and Silver's Cry being able to special summon it for free, basically, and, you know, have bodies to run things over could be very strong here. So let's see how they play it out. Here, they're going to take some time to think, and they're going to go Silver's Cry, bring back that Blue Eyes. And then overlay both for a copy of Hieratic Sundragon, Overlord of Heliopolis. Okay, so kind of cool here. And let's see what they do. They're going to use the effect and detach Blue Eyes. Spark is going to try to protect the Big Eye here. And it looks like they are also tributing itself here. Let me just see, once per turn, tribute any number of monsters from your hand and or field, minimum 1. Okay, so they were just, you know, okay, tributing itself to get rid of the MST here. Next, Dragon Shrine is going to be able to be activated and sending a copy of Title. Then going for a big Soul Charge here, going for Blue Eyes, Flameveil, Guard, Stardust, and Tempest. So a lot here, going down to only 800 life. but they are going to synchro for Azurize. Azurize is going to activate. That says if this card's special summoned until the end of the next turn, neither player can target dragon monsters you currently control with card effects. And then it looked like a grave effect was activated there. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, they were using the title to special summon it out, and then overlaying for a copy of Big Eye of their own, which this is extremely strong for Blab, and this is like one of the plays I really enjoy is seeing kind of the Big Eye Wars similar to what would always happen in Dragon Ruler format, because here Blab will be able to basically take End Speed's whole board, so using Big Eye to take Big Eye, and then this Big Eye can activate to take back the Stardust Spark, so really good, and then everything in defense over to End Speed, who gets a copy of Dragoons, and yeah, there's not really much they can do to break that board, so they are going to scoop it up, so Blab does take game number 1, but now End Speed will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Flameveil Guard, Dragon Shrine, Max C, Silver's Cry, and Dragon Shrine, and on the other side, we see Tidal, Undyne, Debunk, Pike, and MST, and they will get a draw for turn, a much better going first hand here. Ooh, and Emptiness. We've been seeing a lot more Vanity's Emptiness in War League, and I think there's a handful of reasons for that. I might make a video talking about it, I might not, but in general, there's a lot of people who are just kind of, I guess, not saying either of these players are newer to Hat format, but in general, there are a handful of players in the War League right now who, you know, haven't really played that much in Hat format for modern Hat, and so, you know, they're kind of hopping on the Emptiness and stuff. Again, not saying either of these players are, definitely not, but here we are seeing that Emptiness in general, and it looks like they're going to start their turn by normal summoning Undyne, sending Dragoons as cost. They say it's good, so they will get to add the controller, and then adding a copy of Megalo off of the Dragoons here. And Megalo's going to attempt to be summoned by discarding Pike and the title. Blab's going to think, yep, they are going to drop that Max C on the Megalo reveal to summon, and they get a copy of Soul Charge, which is very good, and Megalo will trigger to add a copy of Sphere here. And looks like there's a bit of connections issues going on for Blab here, or actually End Speed, actually, okay. So then anyways, it looks like they are going to just set some back row and pass it on over to Blab, definitely not wanting to play into that Max C at all. And here it looks like Dragon Shrine's activated, sending a copy of, what was that, Blue Eyes and Tempest here. From here, Silver's Cry is going to be activated to bring back the Blue Eyes, but the Emptiness is going to be flipped here, so Blab will just set the Flameveil Guard and pass it back over to End Speed, or actually it looks like in end phase, the End Speed is going to just MST their own Emptiness, so probably trying to make a big push here, drawing into a copy of Pike, which is all right, but obviously they don't have a water for it, so they're just going to normal the controller, overlay for Alucard to pop the Flameveil Guard, and then Tidal is going to activate, banishing the Undyne and Dragoons, and DD Crow is going to be chained to that to attempt to banish the Tidal, but Debunk is going to be activated to negate and banish the Crow, but obviously since the Crow was sent from hand, it will not be banished here, so Crow should actually be in Graveyard, which it does go to grave, and then make a big push here for a lot of damage, 24, 26, and 18. So not leaving Blab on much, and then Sphere is activated, so, you know, that is enough damage. So moving on into game number 3, Blab will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Mythic Water Dragon, Foolish Burial, Max C, Mythic Tree Dragon. Really good to see the Water and Tree Dragon in the same hand, and DD Crow. So wow, being able to basically minimally put up a Felgran plus having Max C and Crow against Mermail is pretty good. And then on the other side, we see Sphere, Gund, Megalo, Allure, and Dragoon. So also, honestly, a very good hand here from End Speed too. Here, Blab will get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Trade-In. Oh, so maybe they'll even potentially trade in the Water Dragon, though I would assume they'd probably go Foolish to dump a Blue Eyes and Whitestone and then add a Blue Eyes to then use Trade-In, rather than risking not having access to the Water and Tree Dragon in a lot of cases, which is exactly what we're going to see here. But actually, they're not even sending the Blue Eyes, they're just sending the Whitestone. So, okay, that's completely fine, especially wanting to leave one in deck potentially, or maybe they even sided one out if they're on 2 and 2, which I think the last time Blab played Mythic Ruler, I believe he was on 3 and 3 or something like that. But anyways, here the trade-in is activated, drawing into a Wing Blast and a Silver's Cry. So this could get kind of crazy here, summoning the Tree Dragon, special summoning the Water Dragon, using Tree Dragon to become a level 8, and then going for Felgrand, setting Silver's Cry and Wing Blast, over to End Speed, who now gets a copy of Max C. Would have been better, the turn prior, but that kind of is how it always goes. Here it looks like they are going to set 2, and in end phase, Blab is going to use that Silver's Cry to bring back a Blue Eyes, and the Max C will be chained there for End Speed to at least get something. So here, End Speed will get a copy of Abyss Sphere, and yep, over to Blab, who now gets a Card Trooper, so very strong card there, being able to potentially fill the graveyard, but it looks like Blab is going to go to battle phase here, attacking in with the Felgrand and attacking with Blue Eyes, but it looks like Sphere is going to be activated on the Blue Eyes attack, and Blab will chain the Max C here. So End Speed summons a copy of Lind, and Blab draws another Max C. Blue Eyes will run over the Gund, Lind, and then Lind will summon a copy of Pike. My apologies there. Blab draws into a Whitestone, and then End Speed is thinking here. They are going to use the Pike, discard the Dragoons, and then the Dragoons is going to add a copy of Lead. And here in main phase 2, Blab is going to Synchro Summon for that Azure Eyes again. Whitestone will trigger to add a copy of Blue Eyes. So they do, how many Blue Eyes is that now? That's 1 and 2. Oh, so they did have another. I guess they were just, keeping it in deck. And over to End Speed, who now gets a copy of Infantry for turn. And let's see what they do. Taking some time to think, summons the Undying. And lots of thinking. This is a tough situation to be in. Here they are going to send the title and add Controller. And then from there, they're going to activate Allure, drawing into Bottomless and Teus. Okay, and banish the Controller there. After that, they are going to take more time to think. Again, very tough situation to be in. Dealing with the Felgrand and the Azure Eyes is very big. Here, summoning Teus by discarding the Lead, activating the Teus, but it looks like, I guess, on the Teus reveal, Blab's going to activate that Max C, drawing a copy of Trade-In. So now they have Trade-In and Blue Eyes. Here, off of the Teus, a copy of Pike is added. And let's see where this goes. Setting 2. Okay, so again, not wanting to play into that Max C, especially if they aren't able to break this board, it makes a lot of sense. So back over to Blab, who is going to get a copy of Title of their own, activate Azure Eyes in standby phase to bring back the Blue Eyes. And from here, trade in, discard Blue Eyes, and draw into Shrine and Flameveil Guard. That's really, really good. Having access to a level 1 tuner here, going for Title, banishing double Whitestone. And End Speed's going to think here, they say it's good, so Title is going to be summoned, but Bottomless is going to be chained there. And they're going to go Felgrand on the Title to make it unaffected by the Bottomless. So here, Dragon Shrine's activated, sending the Whitestone and getting a copy of Blue Eyes. So they are on 3 Blue Eyes, I believe that is now, or am I just... I swear I saw another one. I don't know why I keep thinking they've already sent it. Maybe I'm just getting it confused with the last game, which is kind of funny here. But anyways, moving forward, it looks like Wing Blast is going to be able to be activated here, trying to stack that Abyss Sphere by discarding Blue Eyes. Sphere is chained, summoning a copy of Lind, and then the Sphere goes to the top. Lind activates, summoning a copy of Pike. Pike can then activate, discarding the Infantry. And Crow's going to be activated. The Pike does discard for cost. So because of, how this works, this Infantry actually will not trigger, but the Pike will still be able to add here. And so they will add a copy of Undyne from deck. After that, Blab does normal summon this copy of Flameveil Guard. They're going to take a second to think, and they are going to go for Crimson Blader, which is extremely good into this matchup. Crimson Blader obviously saying, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, your opponent cannot normal or special summon level 5 or higher monsters during their next turn. So extremely good, again, just because Mermail has so many high-level monsters. This is going to turn off, their Title in graveyard. It's going to turn off this Megalo in hand. It really just does shut down so much stuff. And so moving forward, Azor Eyes is switched to attack, and then the Blader attacks over Teus, the Azor attacks over the Pike, the Felgran basically just clearing the whole board is what I'm getting at here, passing it over to End Speed, who now gets a copy of Vanity's Emptiness. Not really great into an established board, so they are just going to set the Undyne and Emptiness over to Blab, who gets a copy of Trade-In. This might just be game, honestly. And they're going to go Battle Phase, Blader over, and yeah, there's nothing End Speed could do there. Honestly, a really good match, but yeah, Blab just had a lot of gas in this last game. Again, being able to go for a turn 1 Felgran was very strong, and then just having enough cards to keep following it up. And unfortunately, End Speed, they just saw the Emptiness a little late, which is kind of one of the reasons I'm not the biggest fan of this card, especially not, when you know you're going second, but sometimes it can come up. Either way, really cool match. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.